Good morning everyone, welcome back to host-tune-perform.com. So today we will do a practical session on data correlation. So this is our script in JMeter which we have created as of now. So we have this thread group disabled, this is enabled. One thing I have done over here is like I have added the step numbers. You can see over step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so that at least you can understand things in a better way. Then one more thing like you need to do over here is you need to just go over here, right click, go to samplers and add a debug sampler. So here you will have a debug sampler. Make sure that you have this sampler, it has a special purpose. So we will get to know what is the purpose of this debug sampler. Next, second point is like when you go to the view result tree or over here, you will see that there will be no request. So this is this is how the JMeter works. So whenever you close JMeter and open it again, I'm just closing it. So I say yes. I can go to JMeter. I go to bin, jmeter.bat. I open up this JMX which was created by us. I maximize the screen. So this is something which is in JMeter, like whenever you like close it and open it again, so everything which is there in review result tree, everything which is there in report summary, everything which is there in aggregate report will get lost. So how to retrieve it back? So we have not actually made sure that we can retrieve it back, so we will have to re-record it. So that's why I have added a test script recorder and a recording controller. So we do not have to re-record all of the steps. The only first two steps are required to be re-recorded, and like you will understand why I am saying this. Second, there is a way to make sure that you do not lose your data, and how, let's talk about it. So I am just writing up a file name over here and I say that this is view result tree dot CSV. So this is the best way of saving your results. You can save all the listeners. So I think that you people should already know what exactly a listener is. So every listener has something called as file name. So you can save all the listeners. So this is a file, CSV file, which will be created in the bin folder. You will get this file in the bin folder. As of now we do not have this file because we have not run the scenario. Now let's go ahead and run the scenario. So I'm running the scenario and you see that scenario has been executed and there is a file called as vst.csv. You can see it over here. There is a file vst.csv which has been created. So we have till now discussed two steps. One is you need to add the debug sampler. Second is you need to make sure that you save the view result tree. So again I am like clearing all of the things over here and I am putting a file name over here because while recording this will be the place where the like the request and response will be recorded. So I'm just saying is view result tree response recording. So next part is I'm just going and starting up my server which is started on port 8000. I'll say OK. I'll say home page, Firefox, and press enter. So we are on the home page. Then I say login, and then I just write test user credentials and login. So you will be able to see that we have both the request, all the requests under this recording controller. And why is it so? Because we have not grouped them. So this was discussed in the best practices. So you need to put each like group in a new transaction controller. I'm just clearing up all the recorded samples and again giving it home page, copying this value, closing this session, opening Firefox again and pasting it. So this gives me our home page, and then I log in via test user and click on login. So now you see again that you got the both of the request, which is home page and login. So you can see over here all these are the fake requests. You can see the server name. Again, this has been already been discussed, so we do not require these things. I'll just go ahead and like first what I will do is I will stop our recording so that it does not record anything further. Now I will go on each of them one by one. This is from Firefox. You can see the server IP Firefox. Press delete. Yes. Again, this is from Firefox, this is from Firefox, this is from Firefox, this is from Firefox. Till here it is from Firefox. I can like be sure about it, so I delete all of them. Welcome, this is good. This is from Firefox, I need to delete it. This is good. This is logo.png, png, text files. I will delete all of them. This is required. These are two from Firefox. Delete. This is again from this is from Firefox, and this is from Firefox. Again here all of these are from Firefox, all three first, then all of these are from Firefox, then this is our request, this is our request, this is our request, this is a GIF, 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 and this is again all from Firefox. So I am just deleting all of them. So in view result you will be able to see that all of these requests have been saved. Now it has also saved the unnecessary request which was for Firefox, but that does not make any problem for us. I will like tell you why. Now again I'm just going to my folder, getting a refresh over here, and I will just click on V. So you will be able to see that a file with VST recording has also been saved. So one problem like over here is I have not given is CSV. I should have given it, so that's why it is not giving a name extension over here, but it does not matter, it has already been saved. You can give a CSV name or open it in text file. Then but it is always recommended to give file name to be CSV. Now we will move ahead and do the correlation. So to do the correlation, the first part over here is I need to make sure that this user session is extracted from the server, and this has come from where. So first of all, when I see all of my APIs, these samplers are nothing but the APIs. This is the get method API, this is the post method API. So first of all, I go to each one of them one by one individually. So I am telling you the process how data correlation is identified. So I see that there is no, like I do not see any request over here of those two kinds. Like one is the user session, which is the security part, and like it can also be an authentication bearer. So that is something which is being used by Microsoft and maybe some other sites. So it means that there is an authentication bearer request token which is being sent. So there are various kind of tokens, like we are using a user session over here. Similarly there can be other kind of token as well. So one kind of like a scenario is the like a system in which you are making sure that the request is coming from a particular place, because HTTP is a stateless protocol. And second is like we are all like making our test dynamic. So you like in short you need to go to each of the request. So these PNG requests are also not like so much necessary. They are nothing but some GET request. These are getting up these PNG logo files from the web server. Obviously, like any kind of request creates a load on the server, but they are very negligible. It like completely depends on you if you want to like wrap them into this transaction, so that the time like required to fetch these logo files are also recorded. This is a good practice. I always make sure that I do not ignore them, but there are people who like delete them because they take very minimum time, like 1 millisecond or 2 milliseconds. So you need to go to each one of them. So these are just the PNGs. Again, they do not require any correlation. Then this is the again home page. It does not require any, like we do not see any value over here which requires correlation. Then again this is the next request. Again we do not see any request which requires correlation. Then this, here we see a user session. So this user session, I may think that this requires correlation, so I have just copied it and I am not doing anything. So these two requests will be parameterized. You can see our previous chapters of parameterization. Then I go to the next step. Again I do not see anything which is required to be correlated over here. Then again I go to the next page. No, nothing. These are just again the GIF files. Then I know that there is only one single value which has to be correlated, but I do not know from where it is coming. Now how will I find that from where this value is coming? It is very simple. I just go to view result tree, I go to search, and I just press this type on this value and click on search. So you see over here, if you see over here, you will get these boxes. You can see these boxes. So these boxes depict that this kind of text is present in these requests. Okay, so I will do nothing. So this is the request in which this has been sent. You can see it is in the request, not in the response, and it is in the request body, as we discussed in the previous chapter. Now here we see that this request is in the response. It should be there in the response data and in the response body. So I again go over here and I paste it and click on find, and yes, here it is. We find this value. This value is over here. So we need to extract this value from nav.pl. So again I go to my script and I have this debug sampler. Make sure you have this debug sampler. So I go to my script, I go to this page, it is nav.pl. I do nothing, I click add. I add a post processor. Post processor is something which runs after we get the sampler get executed. So I will just go and regular expression extractor. I will just add a regular expression extractor under it, and I will give the name of the variable user session. So we want this variable. So as of now, try to understand what I am doing. We will have a deep understanding of this regular expression extractor in next chapter. So here I will say that I want to apply it only to the main sample and subsamples. We do not have any subsamples, so this is the main sample. So I will say that I want to apply it only to the main sample, and I want to check the body. Body as a document, body and escaped. So the difference between all three of them is body is the simple body with HTML, and escaped is it converts all the unescaped character into the relevant data. Body as a document is a special format, but we do not recommend to use it because it has its own performance issues. Then response headers, it just looks for the response headers. Request headers, it just looks for request headers. It looks for the data in URL, it looks for the data in response code, and then it looks for the data in response message. So this is not a response message, this is in response body. So we will be searching it in response body. We have given the variable name as user session, and this is the regular expressions. So how exactly we give the regular expression is this way. We need a left boundary, then there in between these parentheses we have a regular expression, and then we need the right boundary. Anything which matches as per this regular expression is extracted. So what I will do now is I will just show you a page which is from Apache JMeter, authentic one. It says regular expression.html. You can see over here. So there are various kind of regular expression. So dot means match any character, plus means match one or more times, and question mark means don't be greedy, which means that stop when first match succeeds. So let us concentrate on only these three for now, and I will try to fetch this value using these three. Okay, so what I will do is I will again go to my view result tree. So this is my value. I will just copy it like this. I will just copy it completely like this, and I say Control C. I again go to my regular expressions. I will say Control V. So we have this complete value. So this is my left boundary, this is my right boundary, and this is something which I need to extract. I will just delete it, and instead I will place a parenthesis. So between these parentheses we need a regular expression. So one thing you know that this is our left boundary and this is our right boundary, and anything in between that should be extracted. So how will we define that? We say dot. It means anything but a single character. Anything match any character. Anything but a single character. Plus means one or more times. So it means anything matching one or more times, and don't be greedy. What do you mean by greedy? It means that whenever like it searches this complete document, it searches for these this left boundary and that right boundary. So this is the first time. Let's assume this is the first time it gets the left boundary and the right boundary, and this is the first value which it's extracted. So now it fetches it and it says, the question mark says that don't be graded, the search is complete, we do not want you to go for another search. But if we do not press that question mark, so it will again move further and look for another subset. So assume that you have another subset of these kind of values, so it will search for another value in this document. So greedy, it means that it will stop. So it has got the value and it will stop. So it says that don't be greedy. This question mark says don't be greedy. In template I will not say anything as of now. And again, as we have said, don't be greedy, so match number does not matter. So like again, if we go over here in view result tree, if we have 10 matches having the same values, so the match number will give us the particular match. If you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th match, then they will extract the 5th match, etc. and etc. This is the default value. If the value is not found, you say that not found. So you can give it any value, but I am just giving not found value. And template is like something, again we will discuss these two things, template and match number, in details in next chapter. So as of now this is okay, and what I do is I press a save button and I go to the login part. In login part, rather than this, I type in $. This is how we write a variable. We've already discussed in parameterization, regular expression, variable name. Control C, login, I say control V. So this is the variable name. So we have changed the user session. It means that it is picking up the, again whatever will be the user session here extracted will be put up over here. So what I will do now is I will clear everything. I will clear the recording controller. We do not require it. We do not require this again. I will just disable it. I will run this test group thread group for one thread and loop count thrice. Okay, I am just disabling all the steps in between. So what it is doing is it is going to home page, logging in and then logging out, and this is our debug sampler. I'm running up the test. So it says that the vst.csv file already exists. So we know that we have view result tree and this file already exists. So it asks if you want to override this file or you want to append. So I always like prefer to override, because we usually do a test and either we can like save it with another name, or I override it because I want test results for different tests at different places. So now I go over here and see in my login page. So it again says probably a bad user has session value, probably a bad user session value. Okay. So I go to the debug sampler. Over here I can select what is debug sampler. Debug sampler is something which gives you the information what is extracted and what is being passed. So here we cannot see, right? Here we cannot see, like we just know that we have used this regular expression, but how to make sure that this regular expression is good enough to fetch the value. There might be a condition which we are doing a mistake, as right now we are doing a mistake. So and here we are using this user session. Now again go to the view result tree and I see the debug sampler which says that the value of this user session is so user session is equal to user session underscore g equal to 1. has just picked up 1. Okay, I will just clear all of them and I put a template to be 1 and again save it and I run it. Okay, so now I am able to log in. Let's see the debug sampler. Let it come. So you understand the importance of debug sampler. The debug sampler is important to make sure what value is extracted and what value is passed. I cannot look into anywhere to make sure what exactly is passed, because here we are getting, like, we can even see it in the the request part, but like it is difficult to make sure what exactly the values are. And again, like, there is a concept called as template. We will discuss this concept in our next chapter. So we have a concept called as template. So we were not getting the right results because it was fetching, but it was not creating up the right it was not putting up the right extracted value in this variable, and now it is putting up the right extracted value because of this template. We are saying that this is our first template and things only extracted between these parentheses should be picked and put inside this user variable. Now again going to my view result tree. So we were able to log in this time, and again our debug sampler showed us that the value of user session is this, which is good. Value of user session is this. Now again go to the login. It says we can log in, and again if you see over here, the user session is 4747611, and here the user session is different. So both of them has different user sessions. So we have successfully correlated the value. So and anything which was coming as in response under this request has been extracted by post processor regular expression extractor and has been put into the next request, which is the subsequent request, as user session variable.